Hi, Mark Youngworth for We Are Change Oshkosh. What we're going to be doing now is going through Chief Bob Paudert's interview. It's in two parts, and we'll be going through those, picking out inconsistencies and things that don't add up. Here we go.
We were just getting on the interstate to go north on 55. We heard an officer down. And it came across so fast that I wasn't sure that's what I heard. So I increased my speed up to head for the next exit. And then as I was getting off the next exit, I heard two officers down.
Alright, I would like to know who made the calls for officer down and two officers down. I find it very hard to believe that coming over a police radio, we do not know to this moment who exactly made those calls.
And as I was getting off the next exit, I heard two officers down at the 175. And that's where I knew Brandon and those guys had worked on the interstate, and they did a lot of stops at the 275 mile marker.
So, which was it? Or was it mile marker 175 or mile marker 275?
And as I was getting off the next exit, I heard two officers down at the 175. And that's where I knew Brandon and those guys had worked on the interstate, and they did a lot of stops at the 275 mile marker. And then as I approached the scene, I noticed to my left in a ditch was an officer lying face down in the ditch with two or three officers standing over him, trying to hold his face out of the water. And the entire creek was just full of blood. It was a bloody massacre.
Now, the chief just said that the creek was a bloody massacre. In the upcoming shots that I will show you here, you can decide for yourself how much blood you see in this creek. Now, you guys can go ahead and take a look at this so-called creek for yourself, and you can decide if you see tons of blood strewn about. I certainly don't. See something here that, you know, God knows what it is. Maybe it's a body. It certainly doesn't look to be nearly the size of any of these officers. That's the area that they were checking. And do you see tons of blood in that creek?
And I didn't know who it was, but I knew it was a West Memphis police officer. And as I got closer, I saw it was Bill Evans. And they said two officers down, so I started searching for the other officer. I didn't see any other officer standing anywhere.
Excuse me, you didn't see any other officers standing anywhere? You're speaking of a supposedly dead officer. How could he be standing anywhere? I'm pretty sure it's quite impossible for a downed officer to be standing anywhere.
And as I looked back to my right, up beyond the cars, I saw Brandon up there lying on his back, facing toward the sky. And there was blood, the pavement was full of blood, and the whole back of his head was gone.
The chief also says the pavement was full of blood and the back of his head was gone. Now, I ask you, in the shots that we will show you, does the pavement look like it is full of blood? And consider the fact that we are going to show you two shots. One being the shot of a full corpse, the other shot being the shot of a half corpse, from two separate instances of footage from a patrol car. And here is the shot of the full corpse. If you look right here, you can see the full corpse of the alleged Brandon Paudert. You see a small pool of blood under his head. You see no major pool of blood under the body. You can see his legs. You can see his arm right here. You can see his head clearly, and you see a pool of blood under his head and neck. The pavement does not have blood spewed all over it. This does not look like what one would describe as a bloody massacre. This looks more to me like the crime scene of a precise killing. That's what it looks like to me. Looks like this officer has been shot fairly precisely. I could be wrong. However, usually when something is done with tons of bullets, you would see the pavement with blood splattered all over. You would see large amounts of blood in this creek over here. However, I don't see either. And here, now this is one shot of the half corpse. Check this out. You can see right here, that is half of a corpse. That is feet, legs, there's the waistline. Where is the upper half of the body that should be here, that we saw in the previous shot? Now, at a completely different time, later in the video, as this vehicle is pulling away, you see, now here again we see the half corpse, and here you see the police officer standing directly across the street from the half corpse, so there is no depth perception problem. These legs and these legs should be the same size on video, and if there were a full body laying here where this corpse is, this body should be approximately the same size as this body, seeing as how the legs are almost identical in size. And notice, of course, in the shots with the half corpse, you see no puddles of blood under the body whatsoever. Interesting, isn't it?
But those animals that killed him, they're barbaric savages, the way they shot him. They shot Bill in the back, went through his vest, and Bill did not have a chance. Brandon did have a chance. He was behind cover after the shooting. But those bullets in that AK-47 penetrated anything that's in front of it. And it just, Brandon, when he took cover, just didn't have cover. It just penetrated and riddled his body with bullets. Who's out there? And riddled his body with bullets. Who's out there?
What was that, officer?
Who's out there? Who's out there? And riddled his body with bullets. Who's out there? Who's out there?
Where is all the bullets?